Hi, welcome back to Waste Some Time with Jason Green. I am Jason Green. Now, normally this show is all about my interviews and my tour diary series called My Life on the Road, where I travel with Stephen Piercy across the country, showing you the different aspects of behind the scenes life on the road. But today is something a little different. Today is an investigative piece, a little bit of journalism, if you will. Is Jon Bon Jovi selling fake autographs and ripping off his fans? Is this possible? Now, I know this is going to be a sore subject for a lot of people, and I know a lot of people are going to be angry. And I understand that maybe the title seems like a bit clickbait, but it is my job in the next little bit to provide you evidence that shows Bon Jovi on their website are selling autographs that are not genuinely signed. They were not signed by Jon Bon Jovi's hand, even though they claim on the site you're going to get an autograph signed by Jon Bon Jovi. So this is a lot to deal with, I understand. So I'm going to bring in an expert. We're going to chat some more. We're going to show you some examples, and we're going to find out if Jon Bon Jovi is selling fake autographs right after this. Just wanna waste some time with you. Sometimes it seems too good to be true. Nobody I'd rather waste time with than you. All right, and let me start by saying that this is alleged. As of now, we are trying to prove this. This has been a breaking news story for the last 5 days. Bon Jovi on their website has been selling these, I would say, for a month or two now. And the idea was to pre-order. Well, why do people put out so many autographed items when a record is being released? And that reason is because they want to chart at number one. Most artists now do some version of a autographed pre-order. And there's been a lot of history of problems. Ariana Grande, Justin Bieber, both have been accused of selling what's called autopen autographs, meaning a machine is signing the autograph, not the celebrity themselves. There is also a controversy over a book that Bob Dylan put out. The book was like a couple grand, and all of those signatures were facsimile autopen, not signed by hand. He had to apologize and offer a refund. Most artists don't do that. Around Thanksgiving, Black Friday, a lot of books come out. Barnes & Noble does a Black Friday book sale. And from time to time, those books are also facsimile signatures. When you look at these things, you should not be able to find more than one of the same autograph, right? Every autograph should be unique. So let's say Bon Jovi really is trying to stay in the media, get back in the media. They put out a documentary series on Hulu. John has been having vocal problems, surgery problems. He's outlined this for quite some time. The Bon Jovi that I grew up with is no longer there. After Richie Sambora, I don't think I've paid as much attention. But so what can they do? You want to seem relevant. You want to build interest when you can't tour. So you sell as many signed CDs. Now, you don't charge extra money. It's whatever it costs. Now, I did purchase 2 of them. And the problem would be, is there someone in this world who has the same exact 2 signatures as me? Well, if they do, I would like to say I smell a rat with 2 T's, the band that took Bon Jovi on the road back in the 80s. Anyway, I can't do this alone, so I brought my expert. Now, I've been collecting autographs and memorabilia for almost 40 years, so this is a subject that I consider myself an expert on. And I consider my guest, Jason Neal, an expert as well. Here he is. Jason, how are you?
What's going on? How are you?
Good. This is pretty much breaking news. And since people started receiving these things, there's been a bit of a controversy online. There's groups that are, and there's people who feel ripped off, and rightfully so. Now, I want to point out that a few years ago, Jon Bon Jovi did a pre-sale signing of some sort of posters. And they were all deemed authentic. They all looked like he signed them. They were all different. No one found the same 2. And that made me think, well, Jon Bon Jovi's a good guy. And so if he's selling pre-signed CDs, well, he's gonna sign them. And they shared a photo of him and we'll show the photo in a little bit, with stacks of these CDs and a pen and a big smile. It looked like he ate a canary as he was signing them. So, hey, these are real. And I would like to have one in my collection, and Michelle would like one in her collection. So we ordered two. There was a limit of four. And this was for what's a signed CD. I didn't want the CD. I had no plans on listening to the CD, but I thought it would be nice to have Jon Bon Jovi's autograph. It's a cool piece of memorabilia. Now, also, I want to say that I think Jon Bon Jovi seems to be a particularly good guy. I've met him a few times. He seemed nice enough. He has the Soul Kitchen where people can pay what they can afford. People can buy meals for others. Seems like a very cool charity. It makes you think that this is the kind of guy who would actually take his few seconds to write his name on a CD for his fans. Now, this is what I got. This is the CD. The thing is called Forever. Apparently, he didn't know Kiss had a song already of that name. So I bought 2 copies of it. Now, they come shrink wrapped. You cut it open, and then inside is an insert. And I understand that they were going to do inserts, but this insert is not the same size as the CD booklet. It's not a CD booklet. So just to show you a little in contrast how small this is, and I'll show you on the back because you can get a better idea. All of this is not the image. Now, this one is
somewhere in between the size of a Post-it and the actual CD booklet itself, right?
Yeah, a little bigger than a Post-it, but not much.
Yeah.
And this one was damaged. I don't know if you can see it, but it's bent. And if I don't care so much, but if you're a memorabilia collector, you would expect to get one in better shape. I noticed that both of these were signed on a darker spot. So I was already worried that this could happen because, as I mentioned, it's happened with many other artists. Now, Jason, tell me the names of the autograph websites, the groups on Facebook that people use.
So throughout the weekend, I've been going full Columbo. We've been checking the RACC group on Facebook. We've been checking the Autograph Collecting Facebook group, as well as the Autograph Magazine discussion board forum and the Bon Jovi official Reddit page. So those have kind of been my major sources for all this. And then going back to his web store as well.
Right. And that's where it all started, from the web store. So these things came out, and I'm a member of all those groups. I read up on all these things as well. And people started to panic that they didn't believe their signatures were authentic. And then it started to get worse as more people started to get their items. Then a lot of theories came out. The first theory was if your item was signed in the upper corner, in the light spot, that it may be real. That's what people are saying. They're saying the ones that are signed up top come from the UK store, right? And Amazon UK. Tell me about it.
I've been seeing a lot of Amazon UKs, and the Amazon UKs look pretty decent. I think as long as it is in that top left corner, you'll see in a few photos from now that will show the original signing photo. And in that photo, every single autograph is signed in that top left corner of every single insert. So that's pretty compelling.
Yeah, and we're going to look at the evidence in just a minute. But to start, they were signed in that corner as the ones that are believed to be authentic. But what my theory, and I think yours as well, is that he did sign an initial bunch of these things, and he maybe signed a few thousand of these things. And then as they realized how strong the pre-sale was, they thought to themselves, we've got to sell more and keep selling to guarantee a high chart position. Well, some people say there could be as many as 10,000 of these out there. While it sounds like a high number, Bon Jovi is a massive band. And to say that you can get Jon Bon Jovi's autograph for $20, I think I paid $39.99.
Yeah, it was $14 a piece.
So, there are people out there who also are looking to resell these or look for value out of it. So it seems like a good bargain if, in fact, it's really his autograph. So the theory then becomes the Autopen. And Jason, maybe you can explain a little bit what an Autopen is and what it does.
An Autopen's a facsimile signature, so it's mostly seen bigger celebrities, presidents use them. That's probably the biggest demonstration of Autopen. Essentially, it's just a not a fake graph, but a graph like a signature.
Well, the Autopen is a machine that generates the signature. So back in the day, they would, it was very primitive. You would actually see a machine look like you were taking a lie detector test, writing the signatures. So basically, nowadays with technology, you can do a lot of easy printing things. If you put in various Jon Bon Jovi signatures, you can get the Autopen to recreate it. But what the theory of many, and most people watching or come from one of those groups will know, is that the Autopen isn't usually completely fluid, and there are usually stops before and after the signature, dots. So where it starts and then where it stops. Next signature, starts, stops. Many of the examples you're going to show us have those dots in them. Also, when you look at these signatures up close, they don't look like a Sharpie, especially when we blow them up, which we'll do in just a minute. You'll see that it doesn't look like streaking. It just doesn't look authentic. You can see through what should be ink, should be live ink if it was a Sharpie. But because this ink is, I don't know what kind of ink an Autopen uses, but they all look sort of faded. And yes, the majority of these have a big dot at the beginning and a big dot at the end. A lot of people are saying right now, oh, Jon Bon Jovi would never do that. Or that's the real positive thinkers. Then there's other people who are saying, okay, you're alleging this, but can you prove it? And for me, the proof would be, is there anyone in the world that has the two same exact signatures as me? Jason, what do you think?
I believe that there is a decent amount of evidence showing that there are not only people with multiple signatures, but there are multiple variants of the exact same signature. So,
right. So
different groups, like on Reddit, they're saying that there's 4 confirmed Autopens. On Reddit, they're also claiming that there's 8 different variants of the Bon Jovi signature. Facebook, they're saying that there's 6 rumored and 2 rumored. And then Autograph Magazine has 6 alleged demonstrations. So those are kind of the big ones. I'm leaning closer to the 5 to 6 range.
So people are compiling these now. And I'm just trying to bring attention to the story because I hate to see people get ripped off. And this is a rock and roll show. We talk about rock and roll fans. And I don't want to see a consumer get ripped off. $40 to me is not going to be the end of the world. But to be ripped off is not a great feeling. And so you want to stand up for yourself at a principle. And, let this multi-millionaire, possibly billionaire, rip off fans. That would, if these allegations are true, and as I said, I believe we're going to show they are, that would be a rough thing to do to your fans. And I think that everyone, if at the end of this video, you're compelled to believe that these signatures are fake, that you're going to want to get your money back if you order this. And we're going to tell you where to do that. Jon Bon Jovi, in my opinion, is going to owe his fans and anyone an apology. My guess is that he is not going to do that. If he does, he's going to do the old, I didn't know. The late record company did it. I had no idea. I'm so sorry. But he knew, I believe, because he has, they got his multiple signatures. And the fact that they put them in dark spots is what the kids call sus. It's shady. Why would they don't want you to see closely? So Jason, let's take a look at some examples right now.
Perfect. So I'm going to screen share right now. We'll get this right here.
This is not a witch hunt. This is just what we've seen. And I'm going to bring this page up. Okay, what are we looking at first?
So here's the original signing image. This was posted on May 1st. So this was a month and a half ago he posted this. And this is going to be, as you can see, all in the top left corner here, the light spots You're not seeing any noticeable signatures across his jacket or his jeans or on the sidewalk. Almost every single one, if not every single one of these signatures, is signed in the top left margin of the dead space.
Yeah, okay. And you can see by his smile, he looks like a James Bond villain plotting something. All right. Okay, so that's the first. And by the way, this is what I saw in a Facebook ad. I said, okay, look at Jon Bon Jovi sitting there signing the stack. I'd like to get one. And I will tell you that sometimes they would sell out and then they would add more stock. Another thing that is a bit strange, but they kept adding more. Maybe Jon Bon Jovi was going back and working another stack like this. Okay, so this is what got people to order off his website. There was a pre-order a month and a half ago. I first got mine. I would say they arrived on Tuesday of this week. At the recording of this, it is a Thursday. And people are just starting to get these. Okay, let's look at some examples of the signatures.
Yeah, so this one, I want to thank Lucky Ducky at the Autograph Collecting Group on Facebook. He's compiled 6 of these signature demonstrations. I'm going to use this as our guide today. I think that this is probably the best. Originally 6, I cut it down to 5. So many of these signatures that I believe are Autopen look near exact. There are so many variants. However, they have the littlest noticeable differences.
Okay, can you blow these up?
Yep. So I'll get that.
All right, and thank you, Lucky Ducky. He is very good with this. He's an expert. Okay, so we're going to take a look. Now we're going to say that those 2 signatures are different.
Yep. So we get those 2. We have these 2.
Okay, now let's look at these 2. Those 2 look, just to the naked eye, they look to be the same.
Yep.
They're dark. The one is, we're questioning that the Autopen they're using there's different thickness to some of them, or some will be thicker or darker. Maybe that's just the way the machine writes, or prints. But you can see that the end of each signature has the dot. There's a stop, and you can see that if you're really looking and really paying attention, these are the 2 same exact signatures. Maybe the color looks a little different. Maybe the placement is a little different. And you could say that some people can sign things similar. And I know that people see different things. I see the exact same signature.
This one, I believe that these are almost identical. However, this, almost that triangle shape, is a little smaller on the top than on the bottom one.
And I noticed that, and I think part of it is the angle that the pen of the machine. Yep. Also, the angle that the signatures are put on are different, so we're not looking at it exact. But yes, there's more space in that the typo -O. There's a little more space, but I think that that's just the thickness of the pen, because I just can't imagine if I signed my name so many times that it would look exactly the same. I know it would not. Try it at home. If you guys think, write your name 10 times and see how many of them look the same. So, okay, so we're, what is it, Lucky Ducky say? Oh, look at that. Now,
we are again at the mercy of Facebook. We are at the mercy of whatever photographs people take. So we have different angles, different brightnesses, contrast in images, but I think that these photos that we've compiled are pretty compelling evidence that Autopen's been used.
Yeah, just no way to recreate the same signature that many times.
Yep.
You're looking at different CDs. Lucky Ducky compiled multiple signatures, but are all the same. Okay, so there's the first example of at least 3 that are the same. Maybe some slight pressure differences, but we're going to verify those as the same, and I think a handwriting expert would as well. All right, show me the next slide, Jason.
So that's our guide for today. I want to take note on what I call the big C. So this is a pretty distinct feature of his signature. This is probably the biggest this is the most common Autopen demonstration that I've seen so far. So with this big C signature, you can see that it connects right here. We have almost a dot right there where a pin would lift up. So we're seeing that. And let's go to what I call C1. So as we can see right here, it is this W shape right here going into the B, and it crosses over that B just a little bit. And now this one, again, W going into the B, W going into the B. It's near identical shape. So these are all crosswalks. So then we're going to go to C2 and compare that to C1.
Yeah, okay. Looks exactly the same.
And this is across his jeans, and this is across his jean going into the jacket. So although it does look very similar, all these demonstrations are on the crosswalk. They are different placement. So,
different placement, but same exact signature.
Yeah. I also want to make note, this dot right here, this dot has been popping up. You can't see it on that one, but these dots are pretty noticeable. So we got that, and then here is another one. This is across his jacket. This is actually the only jacket one I could find of the big C signature, but here we have the W going into the B, a little bit of an overlap there. Hypothetically, if Autopen was used, you would see a dot right here and a dot right here, as well as the dot right here. So,
and you do see it. Yeah.
Those are the big C, and that's probably what I think is the most compelling demonstration of Autopen being used. I think that's probably the telltale on these. And
we're noticing the ink as well. You know, go take a Sharpie and look at it that close. I don't think you'll see the streaks that you see in this, and definitely those dots indicating a start and stop, not a natural start and stop.
You can do it at home. You can sign your name 10 times, and then I want you to press down with the Sharpie and slowly sign your name. You'll see these ripple effects almost, and these ripples are pretty consistent in almost all of these Jovi signatures, and it's almost like a wavy, I don't even know how to describe it. It's somewhat translucent. It's just odd.
Now, Jason, is there someone out there who has the same Bon Jovi autograph as me?
There is. So here we have your big C. So this is...
Now you're scaring me, as a skin cancer survivor. But yes, he's referring to the J that does look like a big C. Okay, go ahead.
Yep.
That's mine.
Here we go. Here's this one.
That's mine. I have it in my hand. That's the damaged one. I'm holding it up right now. That is just a screenshot of it. Okay. So now that's my signature. Now, does anyone else have it?
This is almost identical to all of these demonstrations.
Okay. So I'm looking at mine. And so, okay. And let's let everyone look at it. Now, we've seen this example, the dot, which you would call that in that case would be the I in Jovi. The placement is consistent, and let's just take a look. Okay, I'm looking. It's actually this one right there. That is the one. I had to look at it, and people are asking themselves, "Well, why are there different ones?" And so we should point out the theory is that there was multiple signatures put into the Autopen so that anyone who bought two got two different signatures. They're not real signatures in our opinion, but they are different. And that is the reason you put it in the dark spot. You can change the angle, you move it around. They probably thought if there was enough examples, no one would really figure it out. No two people would get the same autograph, but yet they didn't count on people at Facebook, and Jason is showing. So the second picture is not mine, right?
So this is yours right here.
Right.
And I want to take note on this like A shape right here. If you can see that, the 8 right there is pretty much the same 8 that pops up here, the same 8 that pops up here, and the same 8 that pops up here.
So you're saying multiple people have this same exact signature?
It appears as though multiple people have the exact same signature.
Because we went online and we compiled other people's reactions and what they got. Now, we're just going by what people are complaining about on the autograph groups. Think about how many Bon Jovi fans got this and have no idea and have that same exact signature as me. And there's people who are happy. Now, you are going to get people out there who are going to say, who cares if they think it's real and they put it on their wall? At least they're happy. But that's fraud. What's been committed here is fraud, and something should be done about it. This is a crime. If you're telling people you're selling them memorabilia signed by Jon Bon Jovi, not signed by Jon Bon Jovi's Autopen, then there's an issue here. So, do you have more examples?
Yeah. So here is a in-person sign. This is at a bottle signing. So a lot of celebrities now, they have their own brands and they're just doing bottle signings to promote that brand, kind of like selling signed CDs to promote CD album sales. It's the same idea. It's just to move inventory. And this, as you can see, is he has a very wispy signature. It's very flowing. It's alive. It has life to it. It's what a signature should be. It's not thought about. It's signed in 2 seconds. And no two are the same. So that's the bottle signing. This is the 2020 promo poster that you were talking about earlier. So
these are all considered real.
Yep, these are certified by JSA, and these were signed in 2020.
JSA is an autograph authentication company. For people who are watching, we're waiting to hear what the third-party autograph authenticators think about this. And some of you who are maybe new to this field nowadays, there's people that claim to be experts. Sometimes I don't think they're any more experts than you and I. But, they look at examples. They've built a database of autographs and they look to see things. And yes, there are things like flow and things that you can look for to see if a signature in fact looks real. I've seen a lot of autographs. Probably got 5, 10, 20,000 in my collection. And so, yes, there are certain things you look for. So they will look at an item and they will put a sticker on it if they view it to be authentic. Now, they did not witness this. They also have witnessed stickers where the person, when they sign, they put the sticker right on it. I prefer that in the authenticity world. Yep. I don't want a sticker unless I watch the person sign it. And really, the sticker is only if you're looking to resell at some point. Because if you saw the signature signed, you shouldn't question it. So occasionally these third-party groups get it wrong, these authentication companies, but in a lot of cases, they will catch something like this. And I believe that after this video and after other people's posts, those companies will not authenticate any of these inserts. I don't want to call them CD booklets because they're not. They're smaller. Now, he sells vinyl as well. And that came with some sort of insert print as well. But until there's a real database of all these signatures, I don't think that any of these will be authenticated. In fact, I think if you attempt to send one in, it will be declined. All right, what else do we have?
So here we have the 2020 CDs. This is a bronze signature. So bronze, this is a JSA cert. So this is authenticated by the exact same company that authenticated the poster. This is currently listed on eBay. So it's a legit listing and we know it's confirmed. So this again has all the paramount features of the Bon Jovi signature, and it's in a different colored pen. So I just think that this is a good demonstration of his signature, because second is a sealed 2020 CD, and this is another great demonstration of his signature, but with a different colored pen, different placement, but same paramount features of a Bon Jovi signature.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, and one thing when you look at these alleged signed ones. They're all pretty much the same size signature. Now, it's a small item. You can't write that big. But if you've been paying attention to these other John signatures, there seems to be a little bit more to them. Again, just holding this in my hand, if this was signed with a Sharpie, there would be a different, the light glare to it. It just doesn't. Again, it smells like a rat. There's just something off about it. Well, there's not much to say. If someone has the same exact one, as I've said, and we've now proven it, we found multiples. And if we continued, and you found both of the signatures I have, right?
Yep. So here's the next one. This is going to be demonstration 2. There's 5 examples of this one, and these were found on the Autograph Magazine live discussion boards.
Mm-hmm.
So there is our first one.
Those are 2 different CDs with the same signature, correct?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So
they look exact. Yeah. Now let's let people look at that for a second. Take your time. You can all be armchair detectives. Look at that and tell me if that's one. Now let's see the bottom one. And we're all looking at different things. That is 100% the same autograph. I mean, it's terrible that this is happening. And I know a lot of people go, who cares? Just a CD. Well, it's still ripping people off. There's 2. We've just showed you 2 CDs that are the same exact signature. It's not possible. Placement might be different. The pen, the Autopen, can place it anywhere it likes. Just got to put the item in, and there you go. So, okay, that's
what
not
I
a
find
good
so odd, though, because the placement is so similar on these. Like, it's even in the back patch of the F, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not the same placement. It's near identical, but not in the same place. It's the closest demonstration I've seen where they just look. I mean, you could look at this for 5 minutes and still not notice that.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So that's, I mean, listen, I think that alone cracks the case. If let's just say we took Jon Bon Jovi to court, and right now this is just a court of public appeal. And let's say that every fan brought in their CD booklets. There would be some crazy, it would be a crazy situation, because we would find out how many Autopens there really are. And when we find 5 variations of his signature, and we find 10,000 people who have those 5 spread out, that would be guilt. And I would like to hear Jon Bon Jovi say something. He could lie, or he could say, I was not aware of this. I had nothing to do with this. I'm an innocent man, which is actually Billy Joel. But he needs to say something. He needs to address how this happened and what he's going to do to fix it. Everybody who ordered one of these things should get a real signed item first and foremost. But for this bull that they put us through, and I know people say, who cares? You got something. Well, to some people, $40 is a lot of hard-earned money. And regardless if it's not, we just gave a millionaire, possibly a billionaire, money to smack us in the face. It doesn't seem right. I will point out there's been other examples of this. Former President Donald Trump used the Autopen to sign the hats to get donations, and people gladly spent, I don't remember, but it was good money to get fake signatures. And I think that's even crazier, because you're using that for campaign funds and you're selling a fraudulent item. I've seen this many times in many places, the Autopen controversy. In the world of autographs, there's also the secretarial problem, where you can write to someone and their secretary signs it, or he hires somebody. But we have, as collectors in this industry, there are groups that will figure it out real fast. And you start to learn who not to write to, because you're not getting a real autograph. And sometimes, if it's too good to be true, if you think you can write to Clint Eastwood and he'll sign 10 things a day, you're mistaken. You're getting, in that case, someone signing for him. But these Chevy Chase, one of my favorite actors of all time, was infamous for using the Autopen. Autographs would go to his house, and they would come back with a signature that was his signature, but it was not signed by his hand. And it seemed to be variations of this. There's lots of cases of this. It's one thing to write to a celebrity, and they have someone else, and they send you the Autopen. You did this for it didn't cost you anything. You took a shot, and hey, maybe they duped you. But in the case of exchanging money for it, you paid for this. You paid for something that's not what you paid for. I believe that's a much bigger problem. Were there more examples, Jason?
There were. So we got another one right here. Mm-hmm. And we'll compare that one to the next one, which is this one right here. So again, we can see ending placement right here. A dot going right here, so going a little over that last O. I call these the OBO, just off signature shape, but going right through the last O here. And then we have a little bit of a hook and the dot. So now if we compare it to this, we finish right here. We go a little bit over the last O. We have a hook, a dot, and then another dot here that leads me to believe that this is Autopen as well.
Yeah, and maybe you could zoom in a little bit so that
this one I can't zoom in. I've been trying.
Okay. Well, people watching at home can figure it out. You just got to look carefully to see these inconsistencies that a human signature would have. And yeah, and you can see some of it in here. This is a different one, the last letter being open, not the full circle. The ones I have are the full circle. But again, the ones I have, these ones right here that we've seen other people have, it is very dark. Especially, look, I mean, if you can see, to your naked eye, you could barely see that signature. It's not a coincidence. Let's put it in the darkest spot. Same with this one. Now, when you get a flash and you blow it up, you can see, and this we've already showed other people have that exact signature. So fans were angry, and they should be. And people started writing, asking other people what they think, and the majority of armchair experts believe that they were fake Autopen. And people started emailing. Do you have the email address?
I don't have the email address. It's on Bon Jovi's. It's shop.bonjovi.com. You can reach out to them. I believe it's the UMG help group. So I have another screenshot towards later on this slideshow, but
we'll get that email and we'll put it in the description.
Yep.
It's something like Bon Jovi at UM's, whatever. But yep. we'll get that because they started getting questions and they said, no, these were all hand signed, authentic. Everything is real. And they sort of pointed to the picture of Bon Jovi signing stuff. Not that that was what anyone got, or someone might have got it.
Somebody got it.
Yeah, in the UK or something. We also don't know how many he really signed. He could have signed the top of those stacks and then said, all right, put these through the machine. I'm alleging this. I don't know. We're just coming with every theory to solve the case. But so there's obviously multiples of the same. People are obviously upset. So they were emailing this place, and they who runs Bon Jovi store, and they said they're real. Now they are giving people refunds, and which is admitting guilt in my eyes. Some people had to claim they were damaged to get their refund. Well, the damage is it's not a real autograph, and it was misleading. I believe anyone who wants a refund right now can get one, and you should. If you, unless you want this worthless thing, I'm not just talking about the CD, then you send it back. Send it back. They'll give you a label and show them. Speak with your voice and your action, and don't let them get over on you. And I'm going to send mine back. Part of me thinks you should just keep these fake autographs and send the CDs back anyway. They're not going to check them and get your refund. Well, I listen. The only thing that they can do to make this right is Jon Bon Jovi needs to apologize. The record label needs to refund everyone. You shouldn't even have to send it back. You should be able to use the CD as a coaster. They should just give you your money. They ripped you off, and so because no one wants to repack this shit. It's a pain in the ass, But in this case, and they should bring Richie Sambora back. Those are my demands. I have a list of demands that I've been preparing, and until those demands are met, I will no longer go see Bon Jovi or buy their commerce. Now, granted, I haven't done that in quite some time. Notice that they only put Jon Bon Jovi's signature on these, yet they went and did signings where all 57 members of Bon Jovi. There's a lot of people in this band now, and none of them matter, other than David Bryan and Tico Torres. There is Leonard Bon Jovi Skinner with all those members. And notice they didn't all sign it, yet they did show up at the signings. Yeah. I should give Hugh McDonald some credit. He did play bass on those early records, not credited. They duped him too. He got auto-penned or facsimile. And look how lazy this is, by the way. It's none more black. What? They were so busy working on auto-pens, they didn't work on a good packaging. But yeah, you didn't want to put, I don't know how many people are in this picture. There's 7. You didn't want to put 7 auto-pen signatures on it, make it even more obvious. So you just put Jon Bon Jovi on it. And listen, I think we've proven that this is a dupe. Do you have more that we can look at?
Yeah, so I wanted to make note too, this figure 8 shape again, it's popping up. And if we look, the exact same or very similar figure 8 shape is in the same place on the same signature that we believe is Autopen. So right there is our demonstrations. And here's another one, another figure 8, another dot right there, and then that carry on with almost like that slash dot, and then we have our hook. So it's, again, another very similar signature.
It's too similar, though. It's too similar. A hand couldn't recreate that.
No. So that's what I consider our second demonstration. Third demonstration comes from Dave S. on Facebook. I believe this was in the RATT group. Let me pull this up here. Yep, here we go. So these are 2 different CD inserts that he was sent.
Okay. Wow, they look and
they
the
all
same.
Start and end very similar.
Wow, I think Dave S. got duped.
This is, it kind of reminds me of what we were talking about earlier with the pin thickness. Now this looks like a thinner signature, but this one looks like a very similar signature and just a little bit thicker pin.
Yes, so, it looks thicker.
A little bolder. Yep.
And by no means are we experts on how an auto pen machine works, but there were probably multiple machines and multiple inks, and there's probably a lot that goes into this operation.
Yep. And even this, in this O shape, if you can see this right here, there's almost this V going into that W that I was talking about earlier. And we have the same V going into the W on this signature as well. So Dave S. believes that he has 2 of the exact same Autopen signatures. And this was out of his shipment of his 4 allocated CDs. So he ordered 4 CDs and got 3 different, what he believes is Autopen variants. So
all right. Well, I think Dave S. has given us some good evidence.
I think so. And then here's one. Here's yours. So let me pull this up here. This is from our guide earlier from Lucky on Facebook. This is just a guide image. And as you can see, this is Jason's second CD booklet that he got in.
Wow, look at that.
Very, very similar signatures. However, this could be an angle thing, or it could be just the signature itself. This looks like a very round signature, and this looks like round but a little bit more oval shaped. But I honestly think that's just angle of this photo.
I think it's the angle that they changed the signature, and again, the thickness of the pen, and we're also looking at a very dark spot.
It's dark spots and it's ripples. It's all ripples down the whole signature.
That does not look like a consistent flowing pen signature. Again, take a Sharpie and look at your own signature up close. It's very sus, as the kids say. And sketch, if you will.
Very sketch. There we go. So we got that. So that is demonstration 4 was that. Demonstration 5, this comes from Facebook and Autograph Magazine. So there is our source from Facebook. There is an Autograph Magazine right there. And there is an Autograph Magazine right there.
Yeah, look at that.
Got that.
Now, Jason, I would tell you that's 2 separate signatures we're looking at, 2 separate items. But I will tell you that there are people who will not believe this. There are people who haven't watched the video this far, have already logged out and left nasty comments because they love Bon Jovi, or they don't want to believe it. But we've shown you now multiple items with the same signature.
I mean, this one even, if you see, there's a disconnect between what I call the B and the O right here. The big O and the big B. There's this tiny disconnect. And on this signature, it's the exact same tiny disconnect between the big O and the big B. So I think it's too similar. And not to mention it's this structure you can't replicate. You can't do this more than once.
No. And it does appear to be dots when it breaks. At the end of what would be the N in Bon, it does appear that the pen stopped. Now, you could say his pen stopped, but when you're signing something, you're not going to in between letters. You know what I mean? Maybe at the end of a signature, the I in Jovi, maybe you dot it. Also, a lot of times when they sign these things, there's somebody who is moving the item. So they sign it, and the guy pulls it. And he pulls it, and you go to the next one. That's a way to know that it's done. But you wouldn't do that in between words. So you wouldn't go Bon and then Jovi. You wouldn't do that. And that break is even strange because in most of his signatures, he's kept a flow. We're not saying that these autographs are fake. It's saying that they're not his signature. We're saying that it's his signature being replicated. Oh, what else you got?
So I think that's a good one. This is from shopbonjovi.com. So this was from last night. And as we can see right here, it includes 1 signed art card insert signed by Bon Jovi. So this claims that this is signed by Bon Jovi. It does say that it is an art card insert. So even benefit of the doubt, let's say that insert size is perfect. It's what they claimed it was. Yeah, that's no issues. But the issue is when you're claiming it's signed by Jon Bon Jovi. That's where the issue comes. And I mean, I don't care about the size. It really isn't a big deal that it's somewhere between a Post-it and a CD. It's still a CD insert. And I'll give them the benefit of the doubt on that one. But when it comes to saying that this is signed by Jon Bon Jovi, I have many reasons to believe this is not. Many of these aren't.
Yeah, I think I'm ready to rest my case. I think we've shown enough examples. And so I want to make this point to everybody watching. If you're a non-believer in this, go on some of these autograph groups, check out what other people are saying. Go
the
to
RACC group on Facebook's a great tool. So there's a good discussion board, probably around 300 comments right now of just Jon Bon Jovi Forever CD inserts. So definitely check that out. Autograph Magazine's a good tool too. Those are all discussion forums. So
these people are compiling right now. Again, this is only sort of day 4 of the scandal, and people are compiling, and more of these are going out. And as more and more are matching, it shows you. And again, I believe without a reasonable doubt that these are not authentic Jon Bon Jovi signed signatures. I can't speak for every single one out there, but the fact that we found my two, I just randomly got two in the mail, the fact from them, the fact that we found 2, 3, 4 people who have the same one. And as this story develops, you'll find more people have the same signature. Well, that means it is not authentic. It means this is fraud. And as I said, they owe an apology, they owe a refund. And I think there should be a little bit more than that. This was really a scam. And I think that, you know, Alec John Such would never have done such a thing. But I really do think that they need to make this right. They should give everybody an authentic Jon Bon Jovi. What else is he doing? In between counting his money, he should sit down and sign this. While he's in the soup kitchen helping people, maybe help the people that you ripped off. You know, the amount of fraud and amount of money that went into this is insane. If he sold,
I want to mention this. This is from Facebook. This is from Mike P, who started the whole thread. He started everything.
He's a pioneer. Mike P is a pioneer. The P is the pioneer.
Yeah, he's the Lewis and Clark. And, so here we have, this is his original email. He asked, hey guys, what's the deal with this? And they sent back at UMusic customer care. They sent him a message back saying, there will be no refunds, returns, or exchanges available for this product. And this is the LP he ordered. So this is the signed LP. Again, they said, nope, sorry about your bad luck, essentially. And next day, we see, if I can pull it up here. Here we go. On the 10th, thanks for reaching out. Disregard the previous email. I'm sorry to hear you're dissatisfied. In order to refund you, we need to return the assigned item as well as the music it came with. So it seems as though they've completely changed their tune essentially overnight on this signature. And this is the same product, same guy. It's just an odd occurrence.
They're not assuming guilt completely. To me, that is, though. To me, by doing that, you're disregard the last email. Well, they're using the words, sorry you weren't satisfied. They don't want to tell you, sorry, we ripped you off.
It's also important to note that this says, if you would like to receive a refund for this item, please note that the signed portion of your order carries no monetary value. So they're... Yeah,
well, I would agree that a fake Jon Bon Jovi autograph carries no monetary value. You know,
that's at UMusic customer care. So
right, and you could write to the UMusic customer care. Let's give a shout out to Taylor Swift because she's America's sweetheart. You have a few of these. I have a few as well. I have 4 or 5 Taylor Swift signed items. As collectors, that's what we do. We collect things, and we knew that Taylor Swift was going to possibly be the biggest artist of all time. It sounds people are going to write such hate letters, but I mean, I don't know, like her or hate her. I mean, I've never seen someone playing stadiums as many nights as her. But regardless, the signatures that she has sent out are deemed to be authentic. A lot of people believe that Taylor Swift wants to corner the market. Okay, you're going to bother me for autographs. You're going to resell these things. I'm just going to put out so many, and I'm going to make the money off these things, and not just the money, but chart. So every time Taylor Swift has a record, you can get signed CDs.
Buying 4 copies. Yep.
You buy 4 copies. There's no auto pens. There's no start and stops. There's no zoom ins. There's no 2 that match. Some of the signatures are sloppy. Some have a heart. Some don't. But they are believed to be real. And I give Taylor Swift credit. Jon Bon Jovi's sitting around doing nothing. I mean, really. I mean, he's got a documentary that's.
Well, he's hanging out with Stern too.
Yeah, well, these billionaires love to hang out with each other, you know, and they count each other's money, and at the end of the day, a crime was committed, and we need to rectify this. It needs to be fixed. So we're going to put all the links, and I'm hoping this video will go viral, sort of, at least enough that Bon Jovi fans who were ripped off can get their money back. And also let's hear from their fearless leader, Jon Bon Jovi. I liked Jon Bon Jovi, but I'm questioning him right now.
It's just a shame this went down. Swift has been so good about her signing patterns and making things accessible, and it's just a shame that Bon Jovi couldn't sit down and sign these inserts when Swift is there signing 20,000 CD booklets. It's just
or more. Taylor Swift probably signed 100,000 of those things. She could go gold. She might have signed 500,000. But hey, and I get it, in Jon Bon Jovi's thing too.
Yep.
This is not a record that is sought after. I don't care what anyone says. Since Richie's gone, his music sounds a little bit more country and less rock and roll or whatever. And I understand he had vocal trouble. I understand that. So, but at the very least, if you want us to buy this record that we don't want, and you're baiting us to buy it with a signature, it's not right. Gina works the diner all day. She can't afford to just throw her money away into fake signatures. If Tommy's at the dock and he's working, his money should go to a real signature, and instead he's getting an auto pen. And so anyway, we're demanding right now. We're demanding an explanation. I believe, without a shadow of a doubt, that these autographs are fake. There are at least fake ones mixed in, and something needs to be done. Jason, I appreciate you coming by and presenting this information and examples. And again, if you don't believe us or you didn't see enough, do a little research. You will see that there are so many examples of the same signature. For those of you who made it this far and are new to the channel, I hope that you'll subscribe. I know this was a little bit different, but if you like the music business, you like interviews, there's a lot of great interviews with bands from Bon Jovi's era on here, and you can watch those. You can also watch My Life touring, a lot of fun stuff. And while this was a tough subject, I feel like it was our duty to present facts and speak up. And it's times like this where you have to tell people that Jon Bon Jovi it may have ripped you off. And I'm going to leave it with that. The contact information in the description to get yourself a refund. So make sure you do that. Don't get lazy like me. I'm the kind of guy who, in 5 years ago, I got those fake Bon Jovi autographs, and don't resell them. That's the other horrible thing that's going to happen. This is now circulating in the market. People are going to put them on eBay, and some poor fan is going to go, I got one for $40, and they got ripped off too. And now it becomes a big rip-off circle. So we'll leave it at that. I thank everyone for watching, and we'll see you again very soon, hopefully with better news.